The most influential Christian angelic hierarchy was that put forward by Pseudo-Dionysius, the Areopagite, in the 4th or 5th century in his book De Coelesti Hierarchia, on the celestial hierarchy. During the Middle Ages, many schemes were proposed, some drawing on and expanding on Pseudo-Dionysius, others suggesting completely different classifications. According to medieval Christian theologians, the angels are organized into several orders, or angelic choirs. Pseudo-Dionysius on the celestial hierarchy and Thomas Aquinas, Summa Theologica, drew on passages from the New Testament, specifically Ephesians 1:21 and Colossians 1:16, to develop a schema of 3 hierarchies, spheres, or triads of angels, with each hierarchy containing 3 orders or choirs. Although both authors drew on the New Testament, the biblical canon is relatively silent on the subject. Thus, these hierarchies are highly speculative. First sphere. The first sphere angels serve as the heavenly counselors. Seraphim. Seraphim, or singular seraph, literally translated burning ones. The word seraph is normally a synonym for serpents when used in the Hebrew Bible. Mentioned in Isaiah 6:1-7, seraphim are the highest angelic class, and they serve as the caretakers of God's throne and continuously shout praises. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. According to Isaiah 6:1-8, the seraphim are described as fiery 6-winged beings. With 2 wings he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. Cherubim. Cherubim have 4 faces, one of a man, an ox, a lion, and an eagle, later adopted as the symbols of the 4 evangelists. They have 4 conjoined wings covered with eyes, a lion's body figure, and ox's feet. Cherubim guard the way to the tree of life in the Garden of Eden in Genesis 3:24, and the throne of God in Ezekiel 28:14-16. The cherubim are mentioned in Genesis, Exodus, Chronicles, Ezekiel, 1 Kings, and Revelation. Modern English usage has blurred the distinction between cherubim and putti. Putti are the winged human baby toddler-like beings traditionally used in figurative art. St. Thomas Aquinas imagined Satan as a fallen cherub. Thrones, or Ophanim. The thrones, or elders, also known as the Cherubim, or Ophanim, are a class of celestial beings mentioned by Paul of Tarsus in Colossians 1:16 of the New Testament. They are the living symbols of God's justice and authority, and have as one of their symbols the throne. The Ophanim are unusual looking even compared to the other celestial beings. They appear as beryl-colored wheel within a wheel, their rims covered with hundreds of eyes. They are closely connected with the cherubim. When they moved, the others moved. When they stopped, the others stopped. And when they rose from the earth, the wheels rose along with them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Ezekiel 10:17. Second sphere. Angels of the second sphere work as heavenly governors. Dominions or lordships. The dominions, or dominations, are presented as the hierarchy of celestial beings, lordships in the De Coelesti Hierarchia. The dominions, also known as the Hashmalim, regulate the duties of lower angels. It is only with extreme rarity that the angelic lords make themselves physically known to humans. They are also the angels who preside over nations. The dominions are believed to look like divinely beautiful humans with a pair of feathered wings, much like the common representation of angels, but they may be distinguished from other groups by wielding orbs of light fastened to the heads of their scepters or on the pommel of their swords. Virtues or strongholds. The virtues or strongholds lay beyond the Ophanim, thrones and wheels. Their primary duty is to supervise the movements of the heavenly bodies in order to ensure that the cosmos remains in order. The term appears to be linked to the attribute might, from the Greek root dynamis in Ephesians 1:21, which is also translated as virtue. They are presented as the celestial choir virtues in the Thumma Theologica. Traditional theological conceptions of the virtues might appear to describe the same order called the thrones, in which case the Ophanim may not be the same thing as thrones. From Pseudo-Dionysius, the Areopagites de Coelesti Hierarchia, the name of the holy virtues signifies a certain power and unshakable virility welling forth into all their godlike energies, not being weak and feeble for any reception of the divine illuminations granted to it, mounting upwards in fullness of power to an assimilation with God, never falling away from the divine life through its own weakness, but ascending unwaveringly to the super-essential virtue which is the source of virtue, fashioning itself, as far as it may, in virtue, perfectly turned towards the source of virtue, and flowing forth providentially to those below it, abundantly filling them with virtue. Powers or authorities. The powers or authorities, from the Greek exoshri of exoshria, appear to collaborate in power and authority with the principalities or rulers. The powers are the bearers of conscience and the keepers of history. They are also the warrior angels created to be completely loyal to God. Some believe that no power has ever fallen from grace, but another theory states that Satan was the chief of the powers before he fell. Their duty is to oversee the distribution of power among humankind, hence their name. Paul used the term rule and authority in Ephesians 1:21, and rulers and authorities in Ephesians 3:10. He may have been referring to the rulers and authorities of humanity instead of referring to angels. Third sphere. Angels who function as heavenly messengers and soldiers. Principalities or rulers. The principalities, also translated as princedoms and rulers from the Greek archaea, appear to collaborate in power and authority with the powers. The principalities are shown wearing a crown and carrying a scepter. Their duty is also said to be to carry out the orders given to them by the dominions and bequeath blessings to the material world. Their task is to oversee groups of people. They are the educators and guardians of the realm of earth. Like beings related to the world of the germinal ideas, they are said to inspire living things to many things, such as art or science. Paul used the term rule and authority in Ephesians 1:21 and rulers and authorities in Ephesians 3:10. Archangels. The word archangel comes from the Greek archangelos, meaning chief angel, a translation of the Hebrew Rav Malach. It derives from the Greek archo, meaning to be first in rank or power, and angelos, which means messenger or envoy. The word is only used twice in the New Testament. First, Thessalonians 4:16 and Jude 1:9. Only archangels Gabriel and Michael are mentioned by the name in the New Testament. In most Christian traditions, Gabriel is also considered an archangel, but there is no direct literal support for this assumption. It is also worth noting that the term archangel appears only in the singular, never plural, and only in specific reference to Michael. Some Christian faiths take this to mean that Michael is, in fact, the only archangel. The name of the archangel Raphael appears only in the book of Tobit or Tobias. Tobit is considered deuterocanonical by Roman Catholics, both Eastern and Western rites, Eastern Orthodox Christians, and Anglicans. The Book of Tobit is also read by Lutherans, but not by most other Protestant denominations, including Reformed Christians and Baptists. Raphael said to Tobias that he was one of the 7 who stand before the Lord, and it is generally believed that Michael and Gabriel are 2 of the other 6. A 4th archangel is Uriel, whose name literally means light of God. Uriel's name is the only one not mentioned in the Lutheran Bible, but plays, however, a prominent role in an apocryphon read by Anglican and Russian Orthodox Christians, the 2nd book of Esdras. In the book, he unveils 7 prophecies to the prophet Ezra, after whom the book is named. He also plays a role in the apocryphal book of Enoch, which is considered canonical by both the Ethiopian Orthodox and Eritrean Orthodox Church. Another possible interpretation of the 7 archangels is that these 7 are the 7 spirits of God that stand before the throne described in the book of Enoch and in the book of Revelation. The 7 archangels are said to be the guardian angels of nations and countries, and are considered with the issues and events surrounding these, including politics, military matters, commerce, and trade. Archangel Michael is traditionally seen as the protector of Israel and of the ecclesia, theologically equated as the church, the forerunner of the spiritual New Israel. It is possible to make a distinction between Archangel with a lowercase a and Archangel with an uppercase A. The former can denote the second lowest choir, Archangels in the sense of being just above the lowest choir of angels that is called only angels. But the latter may denote the highest of all the angels. Examples: Archangels in the sense of being above all angels of any choir. The 7 highest Seraphim, Michael being the highest of all. Some Christian groups, such as the Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witnesses, believe Michael the Archangel is another name for Jesus. Angels. The angels are Malachim, the plain angels, are the lowest order of the angels and the most recognized. They are the ones most concerned with affairs of the living things. Within the category of the angels, there are many different kinds, with different functions. The angels are sent as messengers to mankind.